Alpha Papa Papa, QSL.
Alpha Papa Papa, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Papa Papa, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
The name here is Anthony, coming in from southeast Michigan. You are booming in at a 5x9 here.
Roger, Roger, Anthony, and you say what's your location?
Anthony, and you say what's your location?
We're in Michigan. We are in Michigan, QSL.
Roger, Anthony, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Anthony, and what radio are you running today, sir?
I am working you with a Yaesu FTDX-10. It is just a pretty new rig to me. I've only had it here a couple of weeks.
Roger, Roger, that is one of the finer radios, sir. It really is a heavy contender for, replacing maybe the front-running 7310. Roger, Roger?
Maybe the front-running 7310. Roger, Roger?
Yeah, roger that. Well, I am extremely pleased with this rig so far. Just the flexibility of it. It has very good ears, and combination of that along with the digital noise reduction really makes it a joy to work the band. I used previously the Kenwood PS590F, and that's a fine radio with pretty good ears, but this radio here is just so far superior.
Roger, Roger. Now, just out of curiosity, what is the breakout as far as getting that on a big screen TV? Does it come out HDMI, or how does that? Does it have facilities for that breakout?
Does it have facilities for that breakout?
It does, but it is not HDMI. It's DVI, and but you can do it. I'm not using it with that capacity, but you can do that, and it works pretty nice from what I've seen.
Roger, Roger. So a DVI would be normal computer type output to a computer monitor. Is that a Roger?
Type output to a computer monitor. Is that a Roger?
It is a computer output. However, it's an older standard. It's been around quite a long time. The thing is HDMI does carry a voltage, and you got to watch that you don't carry. I think it's a 5 volt through one of the lines, and you could damage your rig and your rig's output if you try to hook it up improperly to a converter going into HDMI on a monitor. You don't want it to backfeed any voltage. So yeah, it's an input that's not as convenient, I would say, for most people nowadays are used to the HDMI, but it has it nonetheless. So I am also using this radio with the ST30, which is its matching speaker, and that has been a huge addition to this radio. Just the ability to have that front-firing speaker. I am a bit hard of hearing in the higher frequencies, and that speaker just makes it so much easier for me to enjoy it and follow along with conversations, if you will. This is W8APP.
Roger, Anthony, this is KC9VKV, the Qso-Vlog net, and we're all about setting up transmitters for folks. That does sound a really nice transmitter. Might check out just a couple of things, making sure that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. You probably are, should be, but sometimes even radios from the manufacturer wind up not being in that wide mode. So we suggest checking that, and the frequency is 100 to 2900 on the transmit bandwidth, TVW. It's called wide, and it gives your transmitter the best opportunity to to operate and gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So the setting is TBW 100 to 2900. And if you're unfamiliar with that, you just might take a note of that and check it out at your leisure later.
Check it out at your leisure later.
Yeah, roger that. I am going through and double-checking the memory, actually the features of it, and it looks like I am in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of folks, they usually have about 3 options, 100 to 2900 being one, and then there's some other options. And a lot of folks will set all of their options to 100 to 2900 because there are some operations that will try to change those frequencies to other frequency widths. And so if they're all at 100 to 2900, they're kind of limited to be able to change, and so you want to stay as best you can in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Roger?
100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Roger?
Roger that. Roger that. Looks like I am in that bandwidth according to the settings here.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And then once past that, we move on to our compressor processor, and we're just looking for a third of that, just 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 on your compressor processor. If one gets past that, you start to get suck up between words, which doesn't really do you any good between the words. What you want is action on the words, and a 3 will be the best level for you to achieve compression processing on the word itself. 3, Roger?
Processing on the word itself. 3, Roger?
Roger that. My settings go from actually 1 to 100. I am about 30 right now, setting at 30. How does that sound to you?
Yes, sir. That's great. And then we move to our ALC meter with mic gain in hand. And as we say the word audio, we become a human test tone generator, and we adjust the mic level until our ALC meter is running 2/3 or 7 or wherever you are on the right side of mid-scale on your ALC meter. 2/3 is the preferable sweet spot. Roger?
2/3 is the preferable sweet spot. Roger?
Roger that. We'll give that a whirl. Verify that. Just a second here. This is W8APP. That's looking good right there.
Yes, sir. Just to the right of mid-scale on that ALC is the best place, and past that would be your EQ, and sometimes you might want to adjust just a little bit more top end, because there's all kinds of things that happen to a transmission going through the air, being received at a distant point. There's cancellation because of atmospheric situations where part of the signal is bent back at another point in space, and it might come back slightly out of phase with the other half of the signal that's being bounced back to Earth. And since all those signals go by skywave, sometimes you can have phase cancellation going on, and there goes the neighborhood. When that happens, your top end is just kind of wiped out, or it starts to phase, if cancellation from the top end down to the bottom. So it's a good idea to tack in a little more top end, just to be on the safe side there, that you're not going to get wiped out on your top end. Because what happens if you lose the top, if you have a balanced best audio signal, let's say, and you lose the top end, you become Mr. Mud, because your signal is no longer balanced. It's very bassy, missing that top end. So I would suggest at your discretion that you check your top end treble EQ and maybe add a couple of clicks of treble boost. And I'm not sure if your radio is one that you have to be in the P set of controls on your EQ to make them operational. First, you may have to set that EQ on to be able to even start to EQ. So if you have to check to be sure that your EQ is set to on, and then adjust that treble EQ situation to where you have about 3 clicks of boost on the treble end. And if you have an adjustable EQ pot frequency-wise, the magic frequency to boost is 2.7 kilohertz. And if you also have a width control for the EQ, not the transmit bandwidth, but for the EQ itself, we would want a 4. So it'd be width of 4, and the EQ magic point would be, if you can set it at 2.7. If you don't have an adjustable an adjustable frequency to get 2.7 directly, you would probably have to work a compromise between 4 KC and 2 KC, and maybe something like plus 5 at 4 KC and plus 2 at 2 KC. Make some kind of compromise to work out to a 2.7. Roger?
Make some kind of compromise to work out to a 2.7. Roger?
Roger that. Let's see here. Let's made a little adjustment as you were talking. How does this come across now? How does that higher end sound?
All right, what I'd like to do maybe is if you could give me about 10 seconds or so, 15 maybe, tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
And I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Oh, very good, very good. Just it does have the settings, so when the processor is on, it does affect, and my EQ level is at the bandwidth is 1. This is W8APP.
Roger, Anthony, I'm only copying you on a Michigan SDR, and that SDR just happens to be pretty heavy on the bottom side. Usually SDRs have a tendency to roll off at about 250 cycles or so. This one seems to be a little heavy on the bottom end, and so I can't really say. And the rest of the SDRs, I don't have enough signal strength to really be able to hear you closely. Even on my local antenna, you're about 1 dB above my local noise level. But by and large, I found that just a little tab of top end EQ works wonders as far as copying the mail when you're like in a pile up or working a DX. Roger?
Pile up or working a DX. Roger?
Alrighty there. Just making some adjustments. Hopefully there is an improvement with what you are hearing. This is W8APP.
Roger that, Anthony. Nan, I'm assuming that you're running a hand mic. Sounds like you might be running a hand mic.
And I'm assuming that you're running a hand mic. Sounds like you might be running a hand mic.
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so what you want to do is pull that hand mic to the corner of your lips and actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it as opposed to talking into it. Just hold it to the side of your lips, touch your lips as you speak, and it'll minimize any kind of mouth noise. Roger?
Speak, and it'll minimize any kind of mouth noise. Roger?
Roger that, roger that. I do hold it off to the side there, and hopefully it is sounding better to you and the others who might be listening at this time. This is W8APP.
Roger, roger. This is KC9VKV in the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and we are recording there, Anthony, so if you would like to hear your audio, and like I say, this, what I'm hearing you on is let's see, I think it's the SDR in Michigan, and the Michigan SDR is just a little heavy on the bottom side, so you know, you might be just a little more. In reality, you might not be quite as heavy on the bottom side as what we're copying the mail right now, but this is the only copy we have at the moment. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. It'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger?
1,000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger?
Yeah, roger that. I do appreciate your time this afternoon, and you're sounding good naturally. Thank you for the time and all the effort. This is W8APP.
Roger, roger, Anthony. Well, you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.